Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome. I can see lots of you coming on here live. Welcome. We've got a really cute chat we're going to have tonight. Super cute. So welcome. Wherever you're coming from in the world, let me know, and let me know if you can hear me. So before we do anything, I want to know you guys can actually hear. So let's see. Woo, we've got quite a few of you in here. Hi Rachel. Hi Suzanne. I actually had everything set to go early. Hi Geraldine. 1 a.m. My goodness. Okay. Yes, definitely do that tomorrow. Hello and welcome if you're coming in. Let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully the sound is working before we do anything, because there's such cuteness I'm going to share with you tonight. So let's see what's happening in the chat there. I can hear very well. Okay, excellent. Okay, so I'm Lynn from Cavi Central Guinea Pig Rescue. We are here in Sydney, Australia, and we are the largest guinea pig rescue here in the Southern Hemisphere. So we have many guinea pigs in care, and we have many people that visit us, come for help with health checks, come for help with adoptions and all sorts of situations. So if you've been watching us on our YouTube channel, there's hundreds and hundreds of videos there that can help you. And what we're doing right now is going live on a couple of different platforms, actually, all at the same time. So tonight our topic is all about baby guinea pigs. And I thought it really pertinent because we have a lot of baby guinea pigs in rescue at the moment. So I'm going to share some of them with you. Hi Mazumi, how are you? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, you're off to bed as well. Yes, opposite time zones, my goodness. And let me know down in the chat, because we are considering putting this time as 8 a.m. rather than 8 p.m. I've thrown that question out before. We had a lot of feedback last week. So if you would like this to be at 8 a.m., which is exactly 12 hours from now, let me know. And the reason I ask that is because we have a large US and European audience on YouTube, and the Australian representative is really quite small. So where are all the Aussies? Oh my goodness. But yeah, so it may be more in tune with you if we do it at that time. So let me know in the comments below if you're looking at it after or at the moment. So baby guinea pigs, we have many of them in care, and it's something that it's a very broad topic, and I'm going to share some of them with you tonight so you can see some of the cuteness that we have here that is going on. And I did have it set up before, so I had 2 cameras, but again, this problem I had on Sunday, was it Sunday? Yes, has stemmed over to Tuesday, and I can't flip cameras, but I can plug in the external camera to share with you what I'm going to do. Hi Cade. Okay, we've got some moderators as well. Thank you so much to the moderators. Hi back Belle, who are with us tonight. So baby guinea pigs, look, from time to time we have calls for help because people will purchase guinea pigs, and at some point they go to their cage and they then discover, oh my goodness, there's some cute little additional faces appearing at them that they haven't seen before. And this comes as a bit of a shock, especially as they've just come around to the idea of having a pair of guinea pigs, and suddenly they've got way more than that. So we're going to talk about that whole process. The guinea pigs that I'm going to share with you tonight have actually come about that same way. So the pets were purchased during lockdown and pregnant, and of course it became too much, so they've come into rescue, where we're going to rear them in here, continue rearing them. The mums rear them, they do all of that, but there's lots of issues around that I want to share with you, and then eventually we'll find homes for them. So such cuteness. Who likes baby guinea pigs? Oh, I thought it was funny you're here. Yay! You've made it. What time is it with you? My goodness, probably very early in the morning as well. Okay, so baby guinea pigs. Essentially, the mums give birth to baby guinea pigs, and you really don't need to do anything at all. The mums typically will be absolutely fine with looking after the babies, and as I mentioned, most people who aren't expecting babies to arrive will go to their cage one day and suddenly there's a few little faces extra there. But guinea pigs themselves can have up to 8 in a litter. And, you know, that can be quite a shock, as you can imagine, especially if you've thought about having a pair of pets and then how large they get later and all of the issues around housing. So it does become a bit of a calamity. And we're going to talk about that. Oh, 4 a.m. in the morning. Ouch. Okay. Are you just going to bed or getting up? Quite often I'm going to bed at that time. So, yeah, so with baby guinea pigs, typically the mums really do take care of giving birth. They look after everything. The babies are actually born in a little sack. The mum actually consumes that. She'll clean them up. She'll lick them clean. They look all furry and fluffed up as though nothing's ever happened. In terms of delivery of the young, they literally have about a 4 to 5 minute gap between birth of one young to the next. And of course they just deliver them repeatedly till they're all there, which is consisting of cleaning them up, looking after them, and then soon the young respond to mum, tuck under her, and she's looking after them. So the first thing people usually find is a whole lot of little tiny guinea pigs when they go to their cage. So I'm going to get one of those little piggies right now. You can see. There we go. They are very, very fast, even when they're little. And when they're born, this little piggy here is roughly, came in on Sunday, a few days before that, about 6 days old, 5 to 6 days old. So looks very, very cute. Is calling for the others and super, super cute. So little tiny piggies, and they're way smaller than this at time. If you were looking at the live on Sunday, you'll notice they started to grow so fast, so quickly. And that's because when they first arrive, they literally follow mum, they copy her, and they eat what she eats. So you don't need to do anything different. These little ones will eat and follow mum around, but they do feed milk. Well, they take milk off mum. That's their main source of nutrition. Everything else they're copying. So you'll see them try little bits of hay, little bits of grass, and nibbling at all of the food that mum has. Now, where guinea pigs can get into difficulty first with birth, if a guinea pig cannot actually deliver the young, then it can end up in a C-section, which is surgical. And it does actually mean that the person who has the guinea pig needs to be aware of the situation to begin with and watching closely. If that happens, then reach out to a vet. It's very uncommon. We have had it occur maybe twice now in the entire time with rescue, so it is really, really uncommon. And we typically find when that scenario happens, the mums are often very, very young. And we do see that again in rescue, because often we're rescuing guinea pigs that have, you know, not been in the care of people that long and tend to not survive the situations we rescue them from. Super cute. You can pop some names up in the chat as well. We've got a list of names, thanks to Marsha, that she's been collecting with the lives, and we can add the names and we might just draw out little names for them later. So you're super, super cute. You are. This little one is a brown agouti, which means that the hair is actually, if we look in here, it's dark. You're calling two buddies, aren't you? I know. Is brown in here, and the tipping is a gold colour. So this is gold agouti. I know, aren't they cute? Yeah, it is very, very rare. So it has happened. It, you know, we've had 2 instances of it, but it's not common. There are other situations that can occur, things like prolapses, and we'll do that in a whole other talk. But for now, let's assume that this is like most scenarios we hear of where people have purchased pets, and we find that they've been getting them off Gumtree or off people randomly or off pet shops, and they're coming to them pregnant. A few weeks down the track, they've got a little face or faces peering at them about that size. So it's super, super cute. The first thing is you don't need to overly worry about their diet, because they copy mum. What I would say though is that if you're feeding mum anything exotic, unusual, I'd hold off on that and just stick to the basics with guinea pig food, because their digestion is starting to adapt and their gut biome has to develop. So we want it to have a diet of, they're having the milk supply from mum, which represents about 80%, and the rest of it is going to be their fiber and nibbling. But that ratio will start to increase with more of the fiber, more of the nutrients from what they eat as they wean from mum, which happens much later than 3 weeks of age. So a few discussions we have around that. Any questions you have, pop them into the chat and we can go through them as well. So the first thing is that if you have a guinea pig that is compromised, and we often see them in rescue, they often don't produce enough milk for the young. And you can actually, we'll take a look at them in a moment when I get the camera operating, but you'll notice that one or two of the young start to always be eating hay and other food and never feeding off mum, and becoming a little bit weaker and frailer. And that happens within the first few days, which is an indication that there's not enough milk supply off mum, or in fact, as they get weaker and the others get stronger, they simply can't get in there to feed, because it is really a fight for survival in terms of feeding. We talk about having runts of a litter. Some are smaller than others, and it's usually those that suffer first because they're so much smaller, and sometimes a third of the size smaller than another guinea pig baby. So you can see why they lose out. I thought it was funny. Humidity makes it feel colder than it actually is outside, and sometimes I sleep with the heater on. I need to wake up being, oh, okay. What effect does it have on guinea pig? We'll come back to that later because that's a humidity question. Humidity actually adds moisture into the environment for guinea pigs, and they like a dry environment, not one that's really damp and wet. So with it being damp and wet, that's when fungal can become prolific. So you have to be careful that that balance is right. Okay, coming back to our baby guinea pigs. You can hear their doggies next door. They're not with us. Guineas, yes, guineas only have 2 teats. So if they've got 8 young and they've got 2 teats, you can see why the strongest are going to get the bulk of the food first. Now, with the mums themselves, if they are compromised, they can actually stop producing milk, and a lot of people aren't aware of that. They think mum's looking after the young's tucked under them, but literally they're not able to feed. The milk production has ceased, so the young are really going to struggle, and it's usually a couple of days before they reach out for some help, and by that stage they're even more compromised. Capifan says, sorry, I'll come back to that. Here we go. Capifan says, yeah, my lady had 1 in a litter, 1 was a runt and needed supplementation. Exactly. We named him Runty. Okay, very good. It's really interesting too, when little runts of the litter catch up with their feeding, they can quite often end up being the largest guinea pig after. So it has no bearing on how they develop later on. None whatsoever. But what I have actually done is mix up here what we call a milk replacement, and it's really important that you start supplementing this. So if you have a number of guinea pigs, over 3 or 4, I really recommend that you put this in the cage with them, not in this container, but in a very low, shallow bowl. The reason being that the young have to learn to lap, so they'll learn how to do that. Mum will also drink this. It will help her because there's added nutrition in there for her, and the young will soon go to that. If they can't get food from her, they will start going here. That way we don't have anyone becoming depleted and unwell. Does that make sense? Now, the milk replacement is not cow's milk, absolutely not. It's specific products that are made for baby guinea pigs, and this one here is called Davitalac, which is my preference. But you use the instructions to actually make it up. And when you do mix this together, you do need to mix it with warm water first, or it won't mix, and then add cool to cool it down to a nice warm comfortable temperature. So what I'm going to do is actually pour that into my little shallow container, and I'm just going to deposit it down here for a moment. We'll take a look at them in a moment. I'll put it there. And then you can watch what happens, because this is the first time we're introducing them to Divitalact tonight. Okay, and there are in fact 8 young down here, so quite a few little babies. Does anyone know what we call a baby guinea pig? Anyone know? First in the chat is da, 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 da. You're all a bit slow on the typing, or maybe it's slow on the coming through to me, I'm not sure. Anyone know? Okay, I'll put it out there, but they're called a pup. So baby guinea pigs are called pups, and we have 8 of them down here that I'm going to share with you. I'm a little bit concerned that when I do share them with you, we're going to lose a bulla pig. Not quite. So it's called a pup. But when I do put it down, I may lose the screen here. I'm not sure. So we'll try and do what we can to keep going. So baby guinea pigs, before we go down there to see them and how cute they are, I just wanted to talk about sexing guinea pigs, because we often see this in our forum where people want to immediately work out what the sex of the guinea pigs are that have been born. Honestly, they've just come into this world. Leave them alone. So you don't need to know, and you don't need to be picking them up to work that out straight away. Absolutely not. There's no reason to do that. However, if you leave that a week and a half to 2 weeks, around 2 weeks, it's going to be much easier for you to work it out if you're not experienced, as well as more comfortable for them. Now, baby guinea pigs, when they are born, you can actually pick them up straight away. It's not going to put any scent on them that the mum will then not want to touch them, or not want to, want to hurt them or anything like that. You can actually pick them up carefully, but you do need to hold them quite securely and comfortably, because they move fast, and of course they really have just come into this world. No, if we're hand feeding an unwell guinea pig, we will syringe feed them. But in this instance, and we're talking about guinea pigs that have been around for at least 3 days, so they've already learnt to nibble, they've already followed mum, and they've already suckled where they can. So we don't put that bowl in if the guinea pigs have just been born and they're struggling. That is when we syringe feed, which is quite different. So this is where we have a group of guinea pigs. We're worried about the milk supply. Mum is a little bit compromised. There's lots of them. We're helping her by giving the extra nutrition, and we're helping them so that they stay full as well. And the demand is less on mum, so at least 3 days of age. Okay. So with sexing guinea pigs, we're going to leave that alone until they're 2 weeks of age. Now, I've mentioned this in another video, and one of the admins or moderators might be able to pop up the video link, which is all about sexing baby guinea pigs. And it's really, look, it's, firstly, I recommend that you wait, simply because they've just been born. Enjoy them, cuddle them, put them back. When you do nurse them for only a short few minutes and then put them back, because they do want that time to work out what they're doing, how they're doing it, and become associated with that, particularly if there's more than 2, because they need to be able to get in and feed. Otherwise, they're going to become weaker. So that's important. When you nurse them just for a few minutes, then pop them back. But you can do that repetitively. What we do need to think about is sexing guinea pigs at around 2 weeks of age, so that you do know if you have any male guinea pigs, and then you can look to take them out. Now, you're going to hear on lots of groups that they must come out at 3 weeks. And I'd really like you to look at that video on sexing, because not all guinea pigs are the same. Oh, thank you, Suzanne, you've popped that up there. So not all guinea pigs are the same. Some of them are struggling, and certainly they do not present a risk at 3 weeks of age. If you are a new guinea pig owner and you've had this happen to you, you need to consider that some of these are really, really young and small and may need mum just for a little bit longer. Now, when I first started rescuing 20 years ago, the date or the time frame people were saying separate the boys was 6 weeks. Then it was 5 weeks. Then it became 4 weeks. Then it became 3 weeks is what you commonly hear. And do you know what? The other day, the very thing that I was talking about in the video from 6 months before, someone was saying, oh, I should do it at 2 weeks. No, they're pups. They're really tiny little animals. So not only is it about feeding from mum and weaning, but they're actually learning from her quantities to eat, when to move around, how to get fluids. They're learning a lot of things, behaviors that we cannot instill in them. And if you've got one that is struggling at around the 3 week mark, it may actually need to be 4 weeks before it's separated. So they're the considerations. So take a look at that little video link. It explains all of that and why. And I think you'll also see it here in this group, because we've got some considerations down here. So shall we go and see them? Do you want to see these little ones? Who would like to see them? Okay, if you'd like to see them, click on your like button down there and share this out, because I'd like other people to see them as well and learn from this. So everybody, click on your like down below. I know there's so many of you in the chat. Hello and welcome. Welcome, but please click on your like and share so that people can see them. So, okay, now I'm going to try this and plug in the camera, and I really hope it works because it had a hiccup before. So let me give it a go. Let's see. Okay, excuse me for a moment. We'll set it up. Down there, I think it will. Here we go. This one here. And we're going to look at a few observations down there. Okay, they're coming everyone. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to plug it in. I'll just move that over. Right. Hope to goodness this works. Okay, let's see. And yes, it's working. Okay, we have the babies. Let's take a peek. You can see they're all wondering, what has happened? What has happened? Where did the cover go? What I'd like you to observe here is the size of them. Can you see some are really big and strong and some are really tiny? And that tiny little one that's there is going to struggle more than the others for feeding. No. I'm done. I'm going to go into all the others are weakling. Let me see if I can put this. Now, I'm just popping some hay down there so we can get their attention. They're still looking for their mums. There are 2 mums for this little group of 8, but what you'll notice is that one of them is really quite small, and this is what we worry about with feeding baby guinea pigs, because we want to make sure that they're all eating and they're all getting good nutrition. Look at the size of that one at the top compared to the one down the bottom. Nearly 3 times the size. Can you see that? So how on earth does the little tiny ones down there, how on earth are they going to compete with the larger ones? Some will, and some mums are really good at producing milk, which is great. But if we've got a mum that's compromised, that has come in through rescue, has got a bit of an issue going on, and you're going to meet Twinkle. Everyone, I've held off on a guinea pig called Twinkle. She's not on social media yet, but keep your eyes open, because this is exactly what I'm talking about when I introduce Twinkle to you, not tonight. But this is why we have to look at supplementation. Now, the only way that we can really be sure that they are doing well is by weighing them, and weighing them regularly, so once a week. And if we really want to monitor little ones, you can see that little tiny one eating down the bottom there. If we really want to monitor them, we have to do that every day in the instance where they're really a worry. Look at the size difference. Can you see that? Can you see why we need to be worried? Can you see why we do not simply pull them off mum at 3 weeks? Because some of them will not survive. In an okay situation where everything's fine, they will. But if you're a new guinea pig owner and you don't know this, then you can have young that will pass away. And people will just say, oh, they were the runt of the litter. How many times have you heard that? They were just the runt. Well, that little one just was too small to compete. That's all it is. Now, what I'm going to do is pop some grass in there. Let's have a look at what happens. Here we go. Okay, and again, we're just going to watch them, because the young can eat exactly what the mums can eat, and they'll copy them. Now, everything is new to them. Again, these guinea pigs have not been here for that long. I think I'll have to look up my phone to get the exact date. I'll put it in the link down below. They came to us on Sunday, and at that stage they were a few days old. So we're now they're probably around 5 to 6 days old. They do, yeah. And the little ones, as mentioned before, the little ones that are small, when they do grow, they'll often be the largest. They will not always be the smallest. So as long as you're aware of the trickiness of these little ones, you know, they can eat and munch and carry on very well, but they need milk from mum. That's where they get their hydration, and that's where they get their food from. Now, what I'm going to do, I've put that little bowl of milk that I've prepared down into this area. They haven't seen it before. This is the first time we've put it here. So we're going to watch them. Let me work out where to position it. I think maybe up here. There we are. I'm just going to put it down, and you can see the little bowl. Now, they do not know what this is, but this little bowl is magic. And the first few times they have a milk supplement, they'll then start coming to that regularly. So they soon learn that they can feel a whole lot better after this than they did before. You can see them moving around there. Okay, while that's happening, I'm just going to look in the chat at some questions that are there, and we'll go through that. Runts are absolutely wonderful. Oh, thank you very much. So I thought it was funny. Oh, thank you so much. That's great. If we can have everyone share it out, it would be great, because I think this sort of information needs to be shared, and that's what the YouTube channel is all about, showing you a whole lot more than just the basics with care of these gorgeous little creatures. And again, you can see really clearly there the size difference in some of them. Now, one of the groups was born a day and a half ahead of the other, so I think it was a day and a half, maybe 2 days. So there's like 2 days difference in the larger to the smaller. But because they're all in one group, the two mums were together, the young, you know, they're competing all the time with these larger ones. Thank you, Fatima. Thank you. Cocoa Puff. Yeah, look at their wavy hair. Isn't it cute? Really, really cute. Some cute ones there. I mean, they're all gorgeous. A little black one there somewhere. It's not in the screen at the moment. They're all down the bottom. There's 8 of them. I think you can only see some of them. And you'll notice they're not looking at the milk whatsoever. Now with little ones that start to need, the camera's down here, so with little ones, as they start to lap, they will learn how to consume milk. Now with this little low shallow bowl, they have no idea what it is. And the larger ones are quite confident at eating at the moment. We can actually show them. We don't teach them to lap. We let them approach the bowl. But the actual taste of it, they won't like it at first. So to overcome that, it actually helps if you put a little bit of it on their mouth to begin with. And you'll find instantly that takes hold. Now, if you've got the mums in there, which is what we will do, we put a little bit of the milk on the mum and she will learn to actually go straight to that area. So I might go and get one of the mums and pop her in there, and then we'll show you that process, because the babies, the young, will follow the mum. You can see one investigating there, but not quite sure. So I'm going to go and get one of the mums, and we can then see what she does. Okay, now it's going to be a bit tricky to show you this because we're on the one camera, but I am going to put my finger in the milk and I'm going to put it on the mouth of the mum so that she can taste it. She won't go to it otherwise because she doesn't like it, but we want her to learn that it's okay. So we're going to do this. Hopefully this will work. The angle I want to see, a little finger, literally. Just do that. Okay, hopefully you saw that in the camera. So she was able to taste it. She'll soon be swamped by the little ones. And you can see the problem with feeding. When there are so many, the strong ones will be the ones that are fed. And she'll sit there. Now hopefully in a moment or two she'll go back and she'll try that. But that's the process we go through to actually do that. Yeah, all the movement in there's a little bit blurry, Suzanne. Yes, Star. Okay. Can you hear that cute little noise, that purring that's going on? We've got a couple of them investigating there. Perfectly fine, and now Mum is going to it as well. So before too long Mum will go to it, she'll start lapping and they will follow at their own pace and they'll easily start lapping. Now remember, these piggies are 5 to 6 days of age, so they're used to eating, They're used to using their mouth. They're not babies that are struggling that we have to hand feed at all. So we can introduce that to them slowly, and the mum will actually do it. Okay, Suzanne has a question there. Do the mums only feed their own, or do they mix and match? No, they mix and match. And the babies, when they're hungry enough, they will literally want to go to whoever can help them. You can see the little ones are actually on there at the moment, but the bigger ones have fed. So they fed first. So the little ones are there for a little bit longer. She's a really lovely mama. And again, she's really healthy. She's not compromised in any way. So in that sense, it's quite good. She's an older girl as well. But often younger ones, or ones that have issues with, you know, different problems. I think the camera just moved. Hold on. Better? Hopefully. Maybe not. That might be better. So the mums tend to act more like a herd, and they will feed lots of them, and it's really more of a case that they're outnumbered when they've got lots of them chasing them. So to alleviate the load by putting a milk supplement in, you can really help the mum, and you can help them make sure that the really small ones are going to do okay. Mum's feeding over there. You can't quite see her. Let's see if I can get on the camera. There she is. Feeding away. Okay, so do we have any other questions with baby guinea pigs? Oh, there is one more thing I want to mention, and that is immunity. Now, with baby guinea pigs, they are actually born fully furred. They come into the world like miniature little guinea pigs, and they actually carry immunity. But that immunity starts to deplete around 3 to 4 weeks of age. And when that does, if there's other problems in the cage like fungal and mites, that's when they start to take hold. So quite often when you see little tiny guinea pigs that are for sale or that you're purchasing, that's not reflective necessarily of the condition of the parent animal. So something to think of, and there'll be more of that to come. So just be aware of that. Little mum, she's super cute, isn't she? Happy nibbling sounds down there. You can also see from this how the mums also need to have a really good source of food regularly and often and always freely available to them, because they're feeding a whole lot of others. One thing that is important with the mums is that they initially, when they're about to give birth, that they do actually have some access to a small amount of fruit. And we might cover that topic later, but they do need a little bit of the sugar in that just to help with toxemia. So. Hi, Katchafan. Isn't she good? She is really good. The other mama's here as well. So there are 2 mums for these little ones. You can see they're just randomly going to her. Really sweet little piggies. No, the other mum. I might go and get the other mum, then you can see her as well. Let's go and get her. doing your babies? Come and see them. Here we are. Here's the other mum. Now we're going to do the same with the taste of the milk for those that are joining us so that you can see. I'm just going to put her down. Make sure that we can, yeah, you should be able to see me. Okay, so put the mum down. Put her down. And then I'm just going to put a little bit on her mouth so that she can lick it. You can see the other mama in there now. There'll be a bit of activity as they chase around. They'll settle in a moment. They all have the same dad, yes, and the dad looks fairly similar. He's a brown coloured boy. If you go back to the live on Sunday, you'll see him. They all arrived on Sunday. Now, just through the mothers having tasted that milk, you will find that they will start... Oh, look at them hanging off her. Oh my goodness. Oh my word. Yeah. And you can see how they share babies amongst each other. It's a bit of commotion, isn't it? That other black mummy's trying to do something. What is she doing there? It's interesting. She's trying to push some of the ones off the other mum. What is she doing? She's a bit harassing her, isn't she? No, he definitely doesn't. He's wondering about them all. Yeah, this mama, the black mama is actually trying to... Looks like she's also... they're sharing them together, but it's quite interesting watching that, isn't it? Piggy Cam live. She's really pushing in under the other mum. Why? Now, why is she doing that? That's interesting. I think we're going to show her the milk as well. Let's have a look. Come on. So just by putting that taste on their mouth, it takes a couple of times. Once they get it, they're away. I think the black mama knows that the other mama has the milk. I think she's actually also checking it out, which is interesting because you often don't ever get this on camera. So what a pile of guinea pigs over there. Let's see if I can change the angle a bit more. They're really trying to be in the middle of the pile, aren't they? Can you see how the little tiny one is outside at the moment and can't get in there? This is why we supplement. Because the little ones just can't get enough. Would you like some more glass in here? What's all that? Have a look at that. Yeah. It actually looked that way, Beck Bell. Yeah, it did. It did. It's very strange behaviour, but it actually looked that way. Yeah. No, I think she's fine, Rachel. Again, this is with guinea pigs that are 5 to 6 days of age. Now you can put the supplement into a sipper bottle. You can do it that way. But we've never had an issue. And this is a very shallow bowl as well. Very shallow. Maybe a piggy cam would be good for them. Yeah, I could set it up on their cage space, which is great. So this is just down in one of the cloth beds, so we could do that. Let me know if you'd like a piggy cam set up for them. You can then watch them. Let me know in the chat if everyone agrees. Yeah, you can check in it. We have had some piggy cams in the past. There's some that have run for 4 days non-stop, so I could actually set one up. Yeah, I could do that if you'd like it. See what the babies are doing. Okay, all right, I shall consider that. You can watch them develop. Okay, so if you let me know in the chat, I'm quite happy to leave this running right now as a piggy cam, and or we can actually finish up here and then I'll set a piggy cam up for you later. Let me know what you'd like to do. I'm going to try and change that camera. I know, they love it, don't they? They love diving in and out of things, and you can see their tiny little poop starting to show up. It's really small compared to the adult females, so they're just little mini babies that come out ready to go. We do have to be careful with them. Everything is new, and again, these are 4 to 5 days old, so they're already used to eating, consuming, moving around. They're used to this. They're used to the water bowl in the cage. All of that's been introduced to them. So none of this is new to them in here. The milk that's being provided is different. And this is what we'll start supplementing in the cage, because these mamas have got a big load. I thought it was funny. 54.55. Yes, I'm sure you are. Thank you for being here. I think we'll say farewell to everyone tonight. I hope that you've learnt some tips and tricks with little pups, and I will, yeah, get a piggy cam or something streaming with these guys soon, so that you can check in with them. We have lots of piggies here, little ones. If you looked at the live on Sunday, there are more that came in. This is just one little group. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's the little things that make all the difference, and you know, consideration around the size of the little ones. You know, there's no way some of the little males at 3 weeks are ready to be weaned. No way. I've seen it too many times. I would say in 80 to 85% of the population it's absolutely fine, but for that other small percentage it's not, and it could mean flailing away, which is not great. So if you're going to do it right, you have to be prepared. That mama is definitely suckling on the other mama. Did you see that? She's definitely doing that. So that's very unusual. Very unusual indeed. But she's actually doing it. All right, everyone. I will say farewell at the moment, and we might set up a piggy cam with them a bit later that you can then just tune in and watch at any time. Okay, take care. Thank you so much for joining. Please like and share this out so that others can find this information. And certainly, you know, in 6 weeks' time, we're going to be looking for lots of little homes for them. So yeah, please share these to your communities. And yeah, if you have questions, if you're joining us on this live after we've finished, put your questions down below, because I certainly answer them. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful night. Bye for now.